and welcome to Down to Art. I'm your host, Kristy Gordon, and today I'm chatting with Buket Savci about art fairs and art residencies. So welcome, Buket. I'm so glad to have you here.
Hi, Kristy. I'm so happy to be your guest tonight. And thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So, Buket is a New York based artist originally from Istanbul, and her colorful paintings of intertwined people have been shown in galleries and art fairs around the world. She's participated in lots of residencies too, including Vermont Studio Center Residency, and she's been featured in a lot of publications like Hyperallergenic and ArtNet. I'm so excited. We'll start by talking about art fairs and then dive into art residencies a little bit after that. I've been following your work for quite a while, Buket, and I've noticed on Instagram, because I love following you on Instagram, that you've been just exploding and having tons of art fairs and so much success these days. So what art fairs have you been in so far?
First, thank you for your nice comments. And my art fair experience started with Contemporary Istanbul Art Fair right after grad school.
Wow.
At that time, I was represented by a gallery in Istanbul. So they invited me to show in that art fair. And Contemporary Istanbul Art Fair is the main art fair in Turkey. So it's participated from galleries from all around the world. So that was my first experience, and I showed there 3 years in a row with that gallery. So it was a great experience, actually. And as being based in New York, and it was my also first time kind of showing my work to the in Turkey and to the Turkish audience as well.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. Is Contemporary Istanbul almost a bit like the Armory or something like that?
Maybe not that big, but still it's the biggest art fair in Turkey.
Wow.
And so many international art fairs galleries participate in that art fair too.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then when did you start getting into some of the art fairs like around New York and elsewhere?
In New York, then I showed in Governor's Island Art Fair. For that one, you apply, and they have an open call. So I did it also 2 years in a row, and now they are called Portal. The art fair's name is Portal. So that was a great experience. It's in Governor's Island, and every artist has their own rooms in this historical building. So, and you meet lots of people. So it was really fun.
Whoa. Yeah, that sounds really amazing. So during the Governor's Island Art Fair, how does that work? Is it on for it's on for a while, isn't it? And then you kind of come each weekend or something like that?
Usually it's at that time it was like in September, and every weekend in September. So it wasn't just like, 1 weekend, it was almost like 4 weekends. And then you go there and the artists, always participate being at by their work during all those weekends. Yep. And that's a great way to meet all the guests and all the other artists as well.
Totally. That's actually that sounds like a really amazing one. And so you said that you can just apply to that. So it's basically artists can apply. It's not galleries.
Exactly. It's not through galleries. It's just artists, and they have open calls. And it's used to be annual, but because of the pandemic, they couldn't do it last year. So I guess this year they're starting again.
Sweet. And I think you mentioned before that it's free to be in that one, right?
Exactly.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, we should all write that one on our opportunities list. That is amazing.
Only you have to carry your own artwork there and install.
Yeah. It's a lot of work.
Also during the art fair. Yes.
Yeah. But that does sound amazing. So you met a lot of artists, and they did you what sort of opportunities came out of that one? Did you sell work at it? Did you meet any other
mostly
contacts?
Meeting with lots of people. I mean, that part was amazing because as this whole month of September, so many people comes, and it's like random families who is visiting our island, and then
Yeah.
also people exactly coming to see the artwork. So it's from curators to gallery. I mean, you never
Yep.
know who are you going to meet.
Wow. So that was the first one that you did. And then what was the
I did
next
it in
one?
I
Or
did
the
it in
second one,
three,
like,
2 years in a
oh,
row.
you did it
That
2 years in
one.
a row.
Mhm. And then
Sweet.
after that, I was at Scope Immersive Art Fair. It was like again during the pandemic. It didn't happen in person, so they did it online. So it's called Immersive. So
Ooh.
that was a part of an award I won through a competition. So that's how I was able to participate in that one.
And I wasn't like totally familiar with it, but I looked at it up and it looks like, was it like a 3D virtual reality space
Yes,
that they created?
exactly. They did it.
Whoa.
Yeah, like almost like a video game. Yeah, they made the
Whoa.
space, and you can online all can see each booth. It was like that. Yes.
Whoa. I wish I could have seen it to like get a feel for the experience. Did you like look at it in the 3D virtual reality space?
Not the virtual reality, but I mean, just like on my computer, I looked at it. Of course, I walked around and looked at it.
Wow. So
It's
you
like
could
you
either
can
look
zoom
at it.
yeah, you can click and go to the booth, and then you can click the artwork and zoom in the artwork. That was kind of like that.
So I wasn't sure, like, so it wasn't like you put on like glasses and like
No,
different.
no, no,
I was like,
no,
whoa.
no. And I don't have one, so
Yeah, me neither. That would be like a little bit limiting, but it
actually, I
would be
never
cool.
tried it yet.
Oh, but that sounds really amazing. It seems like it's always beneficial to be in an art fair. Did you find anything?
Exactly. I mean, through all of them, because first of all, your name is out there.
Yeah.
It gets seen, and your art getting seen with so many people. And even when
Yeah.
it's online, then it means like even from other countries who anybody can see it. You never know.
True. Yeah, that's true. Opens up
Uh,
even more possibilities.
and from the contemporary Istanbul Art Fair, one of the most amazing opportunities I got was from Germany. They in Germany, almost every city they have this Kunstverein called kind of institutions. It's like part
Whoa.
government owned. So
Whoa.
it's somehow they saw my work because of
Whoa.
contemporary Istanbul Art Fair, and then they invited me to have an exhibition there. Actually,
Whoa.
yeah, that was
Yeah,
first. I was so it was an exciting and like
that's
surprising
amazing.
invitation. So I actually asked, "How did you find me?" They said, "We saw at this art fair."
Oh, yeah. Wow. Oh, I want to see photos from that. When was that?
That was in 2018, and
Wow.
actually they approached me in 2016. So it was kind of a big getting
Yep.
prepared
Yeah,
for that.
yeah. Yeah,
And
it's
they
like a
came
big
to
thing.
New York to see my work in person.
Oh, wow.
Because
Oh,
there's
that's
so
amazing.
many big Turkish immigrant population in Germany, and especially in Stuttgart. And this was in a small town of Stuttgart. This Kunstverein was in, and Kunstverein Ludwigsburg. uh,
Yeah.
so that's why they wanted to have a Turkish artist to show there
Oh,
to make a conversation with the immigrant population. That was their
yep.
idea. And then they invited
Whoa.
another Turkish artist from Istanbul. So it was kind of a joint exhibition. But it was
Whoa.
amazing. They gave us separate rooms, and
Oh,
it was a historical building from
oh my gosh.
yeah, amazing space. And of course, it's usually you don't expect that, but as it was government funded, I guess they were
Wow.
able to pay for all my artwork shipping and
Oh,
my flights and staying there, everything. So it was an amazing
whoa.
experience.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's like completely amazing. Yeah, I know that's the thing with art fairs is that really like so many people end up seeing your work and you never know
You never
like
know
who you'll
exactly,
see.
yes.
Like it's just
Especially if
always
they're
good.
international. So yeah,
That's
yeah.
true. That's true. I wonder how people could get into international art fairs. I guess it normally happens through a gallery connection.
Most of them are through galleries, yes.
Yeah,
But as this Governor's Island Art Fair is like you as an
totally.
artist you can apply. But honestly, I never done the ones you pay for.
That's what I was wondering about. I've heard of them. I don't even know which ones would be good in New York and how expensive they would be. Like it does, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like a great it might still be
Yeah,
really expensive and not be that good. I did pay for like being in a little art fair in Ottawa that was really good, the Elmwood Art and Home Fair for anyone who's in Ottawa. That was really like worth it. It was not too expensive and there was a really good amount of people that attended and I sold
that
lots of
sounds
work and met
great.
collectors. Yeah, that was good, but I wouldn't know in New York like where
Yeah, as I
where
mean, name-wise art fairs, I know them, but I never did myself, so I don't have much information. First of all, they
totally.
cost a lot, and it needs to be, worth it. Like you need to sell that much work to cover that expense. So I don't know. I mean, that's why I never did that. So yeah.
Totally. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Me too. Yeah, I think it's really interesting the way you're going about like the way you've kind of gotten into like a ton of art fairs and
Mhm.
different ways too, like sometimes through a competition,
Mhm.
sometimes through your clever research finding the Governor Island one. And then more recently, like I think was it just this year that I saw you in like two different booths at Spring Break, which I
Yes,
think is
that's
one of the
right.
best art fairs to be in, the Spring Break Art Fair. You had like an entire booth to yourself and then you had your work included in another booth. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that was an amazing experience. I mean, for the Spring Break Art Fair, I mean, for a couple of years, I was kind of dreaming about it.
Yeah.
So to participate in that, because I mean, art I've been seeing there is amazing, and then the exposure, everything, it's yeah, and it's fun. It's
Yeah.
always been so fun. So I was like, oh, I want to be part of this. But yeah, I mean, I guess I was thinking about how to do it. And luckily, I mean, and at the end, I guess I had enough work also.
That's true. You work hard. You create a lot of work.
I I wish I was faster.
It seems
I
like
mean,
you're just like super fast to me. How much
no,
do you
I'm
paint
not
actually?
actually.
Like, are you painting 8 hours a day? I could never do that.
I paint almost every day. Actually, pandemic, these lockdowns helped me a lot because I was more able to focus on my work, and because
Yeah,
we
yeah,
weren't able to go anywhere, so I was like, okay, I don't have to be anywhere, so I have to use this time, as
yeah,
much as I can do. So I made more paintings, and I had more time to do applications and all the stuff. So it helped me a lot.
yeah. Yeah, I think that's really cool. Like, I mean, researching these opportunities is like a big piece and it takes time, and then like submitting to them, and that takes time
Exactly.
too. And it's like important to do. And I can see how like the pandemic would like give you more time to do all of that.
Yes, I was like, okay, I'm at home all the time, so I'm like, what else to do? This is the perfect opportunity to apply to things. So I was like, uh,
Totally.
yeah. So,
Yeah, that is cool. And then so okay,
so
so
for the
explain
spring
to
break,
everyone who hasn't seen like what the two booths that you were at Spring Break, like what did they look like? And how did you get into each of them? Like,
so this for the spring break, you as an artist, you can't apply by yourself. So
right.
creators apply, and it's based mostly about independent creators apply, and it's an
Mm.
artist or as a group show. So
Oh, so
uh,
it's mostly curators and not like too many galleries, like
not
is-
many galleries. There are galleries,
oh,
but mostly it's independent creators.
oh, interesting.
Yeah, but also as an artist, you can be independent creator too. So that's the good thing. They give this opportunity for, you know,
Oh, that's a good point.
yes,
We could, couldn't we?
yes, not for yourself as a solo boot, of course, but
No,
yes.
I know that would be like a little sneaky.
But it's
So,
so
so you had been, yeah, the one was with a curator.
yeah, both of them was
Oh,
independent
right.
creators. So my solo boot was created by Maria de Los Angeles, and she's an amazing artist. And I knew her since mm, undergrad. We both did studied painting at Pratt Institute.
No
So,
way.
so as everything else, everything happens through connections, I guess.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that solo boot, that it was titled "Wrong Side of the River," Pink Room.
Oh, it looked amazing.
And when you apply, you don't know, what size your boot is going to be, because there's small rooms, big rooms, you never know. So yeah.
Oh.
And I was amazed when I saw that I have this huge booth, and it was a great location. So he asked me to explain it. So it was like I had 7 paintings in that booth, 7 or 8, something like that. And
Wow.
then the wall for the backgrounds, I made a oil acrylic drawing on primed paper, actually. And
Oh,
so I covered the walls with that. I installed the drawing on the walls. So it was
yeah.
a huge drawing.
It looked amazing and super fun. Like, yeah.
I always start my paintings with this pink background, and then green drawing on it. And I always
Oh.
wanted to show it somehow. And finally, for that show, I was like, okay, I'm going to make this huge background as how I do my, under paintings, actually. So that was the idea.
Oh, that's really smart and interesting. I actually didn't even know that. Like well, I didn't know that you always work on pink and draw in green. And I didn't know that that was like the idea behind your booth. I just like noticed how amazing your booth looked, but I didn't.
But that's how I do all the time. And so I was like, and I'm myself so attracted to that, combination of pink and green. So I wanted to show it. And I guess, many people loved it. I guess everybody loved it. So that was a great experience. And the feedback was amazing. And on top of the colorful paintings. And also I did this on the floor, as it was called, Wrong Side of the River. I made this river, like a water image on the floor.
Did you paint that too?
No, I didn't paint it. It was just stickers. But the idea was like you cross that river to arrive this fantasy place where that pink place with the colorful paintings.
It's so interesting. And there's almost like a beach like sort of gray before the river.
Exactly, yes. You arrive to that.
Oh my
and there was the
gosh.
inflatables, as I use inflatables in my paintings. And I see those inflatables, like I use them as for many reasons. They are perfect symbols for many ideas for me.
Are they like reference? Are these ones that you actually use as reference? Like,
exactly. I keep buying them.
So cool. Yeah.
The paintings. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to install them and put it in the installation.
That is amazing. It's like, it's like a total like installation piece. And I can imagine that a lot of people posed with themselves in these inflatables during the event.
They're funny, they're cute, and I know. And then they're like so about consumers and everything, and they're also so fake,
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
and for the installation, I was thinking them as like one of them was dragon, one of them is unicorn. So it's like you get on these unicorn and dragon, and they take you to this. If you are brave enough to get on them, they take you to this fantasy place, kind of.
I completely love it. It's so amazing.
And of course, I use my paintings about joy and happiness, but also underlying layer is about, as an immigrant myself, I always think about, the refugees and immigrants. They cross these dark waters. Take this risk to arrive this brighter future, but they don't know what expects them there. But they just want to be free and not threatened and to be loved. So it was also about that idea, that installation.
Oh, I'm getting tingles. That's actually so interesting. I didn't know that about some of the underlying.
Yeah, I do it very subtly.
Yeah.
I wanted to be first give joy and it to be, because everything is so negative and dark in the real world. So I want the paintings to be joyful.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And you sold a ton of these paintings.
Yes, actually I sold 7 of them.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was an amazing experience. And I had two pieces in the group show created, the group booth created by Ana Costera. So I had two paintings there, and then 7 or 8, I can't even remember, 8, I guess, in the other booth.
Wow. Yeah, it's so cool. It was like I was just like following your Instagram and I kept seeing, I was like, wait, what? She's in like she's like all over spring break. Um well, and actually, like you just kind of described your work really well there to me too, and like visually to like anyone listening, even though we can't see the work on a podcast. And I know you and I have talked about like this idea of like the elevator pitch and like artists kind of needing to like work on those. And I actually totally need to work on mine. Um, what's your relationship with this idea of like the elevator pitch? I feel like you fleshed it out. Did you do that consciously? And what do you think about?
I keep working on it. I mean, as I keep working on my artist statement, as my
Yep.
work keeps evolving and the statement keeps evolving, of course, it keeps changing.
Totally.
And also, usually it happens, when you apply to things, they ask in a different ways to explain your work or your process. And also, there's always word limits. So I always have to change it according to that. So
it's actually beneficial. Yeah.
It helps actually. So I have 100-word statement, 300-word statement. So it keeps changing.
Yeah.
And that forces you to say it in a more clear and specific way.
Yeah, totally. Because I think you've got it like really clear and really specific, and it's totally related to your work. And I mean, applying to things like, as we both know, is like hard work, and I don't know, it's like kind of tedious, but it's actually like always useful too to kind of wrap our heads around.
And especially, I mean, it's not easy for me writing too, with English being second language, but I mean, keep forcing myself and yeah, I hate the writing part when I apply.
It's so hard.
I know it's so difficult, but then it's at the end, I guess it helps because it makes you so much time writing it the same thing in a different ways and trying to explain it better.
Yeah.
So you learn from it, kind of.
I know. I totally agree. I think it is like useful in that way. And like every application gets better. And actually, before we move on to art fairs, because that starts to before we move into residencies, because actually the whole writing aspect really ties into residencies, I feel like too. You were also in the Art Hamptons through the New York Academy of Art.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, one time. Yeah, I showed that booth. It was created by April Gornick. So that was a great experience. But yeah, I forgot to mention that one.
Yeah, no, I just like remembered it too. Yeah, so it's kind of like you've gotten in with curators and sometimes like competitions, sometimes galleries,
sometimes through open calls and
What's that?
Sometimes through open calls and yeah.
Yeah, oh true. The open call like with the Governor Island Art Fair. Actually, with that, so one of the other things that came out of the Governor Island Art Fair, if I remember correctly, was that there's also Governor's Island residency.
Yes, actually the people, I mean, Foreheads, who is creating the Governor's Island Art Fair, they have a residency there too, and they do open call for that as well.
That's interesting.
That I haven't done, but as being on the Governor's Island and experiencing, I really enjoy being there because it's so close to the city, but it's so totally different. You feel like you're in a different city, and it's like more calm, and you're on an island, so it's amazing. So when I was there, I visited the Lower Manhattan Cultural Council's art center. Yep. And they have a residency, and that one I did very recently, like last September till December. It was almost like a 3.5 months residency. So yeah, when I was
right, so there's two residencies on Governor's Island.
Actually, there's more right now.
There's even more.
It's getting more and more. NARS has a residency, I guess, there, and there's a couple of others. Yeah.
Oh wow. And yeah, that's interesting. So I always find that it's like kind of unexpected the ways, like the setting always works into my work or influences my work. Like it does change it slightly, and I never know how. It might not be like an obvious way, like Do you find that? Do you find that with all the residencies you've done that
Of
the
course.
setting somehow, yeah.
I mean, first, I mean, going to somewhere different and you haven't been, especially, totally changes you and it adds you. I always believe in that.
That's
Even
true.
like traveling and then with the residencies, you meet so many people and so many artists, and usually it's as you're there in a new place with these new friends, you create really great bonds with them, which last
Yeah.
longer times. And in 2018, I did a residency in Leipzig, Germany. That
Yep.
was also 3 months. And
Wow.
actually, my this multiple figure painting started there because
No
because
way.
we were there with all these artists, and we were like 14, I guess, and everybody was from different country with different
Ah,
backgrounds. So we were there in a different,
yep.
country altogether.
Totally.
And I was like, okay, we are all here together. So I was like, why don't you pose for me?
Ah.
So that's how it started. So yeah,
Oh my gosh, that's interesting. Your work is really like recognizable and unique. Like it's very specific now. Like anyone who's seen your work will know your work and it's very like recognizable, but it's so interesting that this, style, this body of work like really started in a residency in Leipzig.
yes. And then thankfully,
Wow.
all those artist friends posed for me. Actually, I'm still painting from those shoot I did at that time.
Really? Oh wow.
Because I mean, again, because of the pandemic, I couldn't have people posing for me
Yep.
recently that much. So I'm like, okay, I have these amazing references. I keep still using them.
Whoa, that's like it's so great to have like a database of reference. We like build that up over time. And you also met Neo Roche when you were there, right?
Yeah, exactly. And
Oh,
he was at a group show, and opening happened to be in the building our residency was. So we went there, and he was. Oh, of course, I saw him immediately and went to say hi. And he's the, we can say that he is the person almost made Leipzig this big art city kind of.
yeah.
I was like so excited to talk to him, and he was almost like surprised. Oh, how did you recognize me? I'm like, how couldn't I recognize you? It was kind of funny.
Oh, yeah, he's one of my favorite artists.
And he
Yeah.
was saying at that time, he said that to me. It's funny. He's really struggling in the studio. I'm like, really? And hearing it
Oh.
from him, it was like,
Aw, it is so comforting to know that like all artists struggle in the studio at some point.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, and like, well, how did you get into the Leipzig one?
It was also open call. Yeah, they have an open call, so you
Oh,
can apply. Yeah.
were you living in New York at the time and you went
Yes,
and
I was
like
here.
visited?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know at that time I haven't been to Leipzig at all. So I'm like, why not?
Oh. And you've gotten pretty good, I think, at like what you say in these applications. Like just like you've gotten good at talking about your art. I feel
Uh,
like you've kind of like refined what to say. Do you have any tips for people who are trying to figure out what to write in the applications? It's so
Actually,
hard.
still every time I struggle so much. I'm like,
Yeah.
what should I say? I don't know. Especially I struggle at the point, mm, they purpose or like statement of interest.
Oh, I know that's the hard
Yeah,
part.
that's the hardest part. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it's easy writing about my artwork, but interest part is difficult.
That is hard. Like, do you have any tips? I don't think I've ever figured it out. Like,
Usually, yeah, I mean, all I can say is, I guess, being honest. What do you need?
right, that makes sense. That's true.
Because I don't know what else to say. So I'm like being honest, like I'm like, I really need this kind of. Yeah.
That's true. Do you try and like figure out something about the setting or the reason why there or whatever?
I try to find, I mean, of course, I do the research about what is the residency and what they expect from the residents there, and what what they
Yep.
supply to the
Yeah,
artists.
definitely. Yeah, yeah,
So
definitely.
along that information, I try to, yeah.
Totally.
Actually, I did another application yesterday, so I was
Nice.
like, it takes hours for me to write something. I'm like,
Oh, it takes
yeah,
like days and
yes,
weeks. It's so
yes,
hard.
exactly, yeah, to make it perfect. So, but I don't know really the perfect way. But what I feel is, especially the ones I got, and if I say, I'm like being really honest, saying like, yeah, I need this, like,
That's true. Yeah, that's like actually a really good point. Like I might not be so clear like I need this, you know. And actually you did send me I don't know if you remember, but a while ago I
yes,
asked you
I
about a
remember.
specific one and I was like, what did you write? And you did actually send it to me. And I was struck, and thank you for that. By just it was written really clearly, you know, in plain language, like we know we're supposed to do. And I think that's
It's
nice
funny.
too, like not all flowery and artist statementy, but
Yes,
just
because it's funny
clear.
because I was at that time, I guess so. Of course, I get so many rejections. I guess at that point, I was also like, I don't get the rejections. So I'm like, okay, this is just what I need. So I was like a little bit pissed off and wrote it, I guess. And then it worked.
And it worked. Yeah. Yeah, I think that that's actually like really effective. I was really struck by that. And yeah, and so you got into also the Vermont Studio Center residency, which I mean, I don't know all the
So
residencies, but that one
that
strikes me
was
as a huge
amazing.
one.
That
Yeah.
was a great experience. I mean, I really would love to go there again. If I
Oh,
can do it
yeah.
again, I would love to. So that was really
Wow.
before the coronavirus thing. It was at the
Yep.
end of 2019 in November
Wow.
for a month, and I went there with the fellowship. So it was amazing in that way too. So I had the Wolfgang and Emily Mason painting fellowship.
Oh,
So that was amazing because otherwise it might cost, I couldn't afford it otherwise if I didn't
yeah.
have
Yeah,
it.
totally. And so you got to go for free and stay there
Yes,
for a
it was
month.
totally free. Yes. And
Oh,
then
how
it's a
many
big,
like artists and writers and stuff were there at the time?
yeah, it's usually like around 60 artists
Whoa.
and there's 15 or 20 writers.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's an amazing group. And
Oh,
I had great the friends. We are still in touch and through there. And they at the Vermont Studio Center, they give you 3 times a day open buffet food.
wow.
And also it's like, if you miss a dinner or lunch, there's always snacks 24 hours.
Whoa, it's like deluxe.
Yeah, I know, it's amazing. And then the studios are great too. They have this couple of different studio buildings, and then according to your needs. Yeah, and I guess because I was with through the fellowship, I guess I had one of the biggest studios. I mean,
Wow.
it was so beautiful, and
Wow.
that space is. I mean, the residency is by this river, so the view is amazing.
Oh, really?
And in November, of course, it's all snow. It was so beautiful.
Wow. It sounds magical.
Yeah.
And do they do, I think they do like, I don't know, talks and stuff. Like, is
Of
that
course,
right?
there's
Like,
yeah, they do have visiting artists and critics. Usually 3 at a month during a
yep,
month. Yeah, and
that
then also
sounds
every
interesting.
artist, you need to present your work in
Oh,
a
you
conference hall.
do.
So that's how you learn about everybody. But that's amazing.
I wonder if that's like where you started to get so good at talking about your art clearly. I don't know. Is
I
it?
don't know. I maybe because it's like they have this as there's so many artists, like they strict it to just 7 minutes. So in 7 minutes, you need to show almost everything and talk about it. So it was kind of an
Oh,
interesting experience.
that's totally interesting. Yeah, I think brevity is the key. Like, it is nice to be able to just say it succinctly or whatever, like you do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess being clear and easy understanding. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe because of my English is not that perfect, so that makes it maybe my saying things is simpler. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. Like, I just think that like it's clear and obviously totally related to your work. Like everything you've said makes exact sense. It's
Um,
good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, thanks.
Totally.
So
Um,
yeah, I totally recommend Vermont Studio Center. It's amazing experience. Yes.
It looks completely amazing. I would love to go. I'm trying to remember, are there any other art residencies that you've done that I'm forgetting
Uh,
about?
no, it was the Leipzig one, the
Yep.
Wehrmacht Center, and oh yeah, I did last year. I did the Chanort, which
Chad?
is Chanort, which is through Chashama,
Awesome.
nonprofit organization. It's just the residency is 2 hours north of New York.
Ooh.
So that was also nice. It's a smaller one, but because of that, it's a smaller one. We were just 5 artists, and we became really great friends. So that was a great
Oh,
experience too.
that's like, yeah, it's really sweet. And it is, I don't know, it's amazing when you get to like immerse yourself with other artists for a period of time.
Mhm.
And I think like I wonder, like the more you get accepted into these residencies, I have a suspicion that it looks good on your CV and it helps
Exactly, it
you get
helps
into
because
others.
usually, yeah, because the more prestigious is the residency, they usually ask, in the application which other residencies you did. So it helps if you did other residencies before that.
True. Yeah. That's great. Once you get into like a couple, you might have an easier time getting into some of the
Mhm,
big
mhm.
ones like this Vermont Studio Center. Um,
Still, as
oh,
I'm saying, I keep applying, and I keep getting rejected too. So it's kind of part of
a
like
hundred
being an
percent.
artist.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. I'm so glad we touched on this. Me too. Like, I just want everyone to know, like, both of us, we apply to like a whole bunch of things and we like totally expect rejections and they come all the time and it's not a big deal. Because I know, like, artists, especially maybe, I know I've heard from some of the people I work with in my art mentoring program that they're just really afraid, to apply to things because it hurts when they get rejected or whatever. But then it's like, apply to so many things that you
Yes,
don't care. You
and it
just get
helps you
the
learn. Yeah,
it
it helps
does. It
you to
helps you
learn. Yes,
learn.
yes,
Are
and
y- yeah. Are you like me where actually, like, I get the sense that you are, but where really you actually kind of feel the achievement with applying? Like for me, I'm like, once I apply, I've like, that's a huge success. And then if
exactly.
I get in, it's a bonus.
Exactly. Sometimes finishing an application is a huge thing.
It is. It's a
So
huge
when I'm done, I'm like,
achievement.
yes, I did it. I submitted. I feel like exactly.
Me too. And I think that's like the mindset that kind of helps us just apply to a bunch of things and not worry about all the rejections, like
Mhm.
at all, like, and then
Yeah,
just
and then
apply more.
also you can say at least I tried. It's better than not trying.
Yeah, totally. Like, you'll definitely not get in if you don't even apply.
Yes. And that's one of the things I keep thinking. If we get accepted to everything, we don't even have time for that. It's even
Yeah,
more
totally.
difficult.
It's true. It's like the universe will pick out the ones that are meant for us out of all the bunch of ones. And normally, like, I apply with the same paintings to the same things over and over. And I rarely get the same painting accepted into like two different opportunities at the same time. Like, it always works out. It's always like the universe just chooses whatever is right, and there's
Exactly.
never
If
any
it happens the
overlap.
other way, it's even more complicated and difficult situation.
Exactly. Oh, well, this has been so wonderful to talk to you. And I just think it's so great to hear more about how you've been getting into all these art fairs and residencies. And a huge congratulations on all your success. It's like so
Thank you
exciting
so
to
much.
watch.
Thank
So,
you.
where can people learn more about you if they want to check out your work or follow you on
Um,
social media?
my website, buketsavci.com, but also I'm more active on Instagram, actually.
Yep.
Uh,
And what's your Instagram handle?
it's also my name, Buket Savci.
Yep.
It's BUKET SAVCI.
Yep.
And also, as it's being a rare name, whenever you write Buket, usually mine comes first.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's true. And I'll definitely include the links in the description of
Oh,
the
yeah,
the
that would be nice.
podcast.
Thank you.
Oh, well, it's been so great talking to you. Thank you so much, Buket.
Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure to talk with you.
Aw, thank you. Well, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Down to Art, and if you're interested in any of my classes or seeing my paintings, you can check out my work at kristygordon.com or look at the online classes I have at kristygordoncourses.com, where you can learn about my online art mentoring program as well as the different streamed online classes that I have. If you've never taken any of my classes, I would suggest you start with the self-portrait class. So thank you for joining us today.